Malachim Bet. 2 Kings chapter 3. Jehoram, the son of Ahab, began his reign over Israel in Shamron during the 18th year of Jehoshaphat, king of Yehudah, and he ruled for 12 years. He did what was evil from Adonai's perspective, but he was not as bad as his father and mother, because he got rid of Baal's standing stone, which his father had made. Nevertheless, he clung to the sins of Yarovam, the son of Nevat, with which he had led Israel into sin. He never turned away from them. Mesha, king of Moab, was a sheep breeder, and he used to send the king of Israel the wool of 100,000 lambs and of 100,000 rams as tribute. But after Ahab died, the king of Moab rebelled against the king of Israel. Jehoram left Shamron and mustered all Israel. He also went and sent this word to Jehoshaphat, king of Yehudah. The king of Moab has rebelled against me. Will you join me in attacking Moab? He answered, I will join in the attack. I'm with you all the way. Think of my people and horses as yours. Which route should we take? He added. The road through the desert of Edom, answered Jehoram. So the king of Israel set out, along with the king of Yehudah and the king of Edom. After a roundabout journey of 7 days, there was no water for either the army or the animals following them. This is terrible, exclaimed the king of Israel. Has Adonai called these 3 kings together only to hand them over to Moab? But Jehoshaphat said, Isn't there a prophet of Adonai here through whom we can consult Adonai? One of the servants of the king of Israel answered, Elisha, the son of Shaphat, is here, the one who used to pour water on Eliyahu's hands. Jehoshaphat said, The word of Adonai is with him. So the king of Israel, Jehoshaphat, and the king of Edom went down to consult him. Elisha said to the king of Israel, What do you and I have in common? Go consult your father's prophets and your mother's prophets. But the king of Israel answered him, No, because Adonai has called these 3 kings together to hand them over to Moab. Elisha said, As Adonai Sebaot lives, before whom I stand, if I didn't respect the fact that Jehoshaphat, king of Yehudah, is here, I wouldn't even look in your direction or take notice of you. But now, bring me a musician. As the musician played, the hand of Adonai fell on Elisha, and he said, Adonai says to dig until this valley is full of trenches. For here is what Adonai says. You won't see wind and you won't see rain. Nevertheless, the valley will be filled with water and you will drink, you, your cattle, and your other animals. That's an easy thing to do from Adonai's perspective. He will also hand Moab over to you. You will conquer every fortified city and every choice town. You will chop down every good tree, stop up every well, and ruin every good field with stones. The next morning, around the time for making the offering, water came from the direction of Edom, and the countryside was filled with water. When all Moab heard that the kings had come up to attack them, every man was summoned, from the youngest capable of bearing arms to older ones, and stationed on the border. They rose early in the morning when the sun was shining on the water. Moab, when they saw the water in the distance looking as red as blood, said, That's blood. The kings must have quarreled, and their soldiers killed each other. Moab, to the plunder. When they arrived at the camp of Israel, Israel launched an attack, so that Moab fled before them. But they advanced on Moab and struck it. They made ruins of the cities. Each man threw his stone on every good field, covering it. They stopped up all the wells. They chopped down all the good trees. Finally, all that remained was Kir Hareset behind its stone wall, with the slingers surrounding and attacking it. When the king of Moab saw that the fighting was too much for him, he took with him 700 men armed with swords, and tried to break through to the king of Edom, but they couldn't do it. Then he took his firstborn son, who was to have succeeded him as king, and offered him as a burnt offering on the wall. Following this, such anger came upon Israel that they left him and went back to their own land. End of Malachim Bet, chapter 3.